Hi, good morning. おはようございます。
How are you doing?
Good, good.
Let me check this here.
Okay. Good morning. おはようございます。
そして海外からもお祝辞を頂戴しております。ウォール・ストリート・ジャーナル、ニューヨーク・ポスト等を傘下に持つメディア企業ニュースコーポレーション CEO であるロバート・トムソン、そして
How's your plan today? Your yard work?
We not gonna do this
Not gonna
afternoon because
Okay.
my friend's not able to come.
Uh-huh.
But I will do some maybe after the service.
Okay,
I'll
okay.
just do a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
A little bit.
A little bit.
Okay.
Maybe around the Saturday, clean it up or something.
All right, thanks. So let's do it together.
Okay.
Yeah, short time?
Yeah.
All right, great. Thank you. Now, my children are wondering if they can come here or yeah, I tell them not today.
Oh, you mean today?
Yeah, yard work, yeah. Small thing, yeah, maybe he said.
Yeah. Maybe is it easier right after the service?
Okay. All right.
What's the girl's name?
Tia.
Tia.
Tia in Eva Beach. So she's very close to Kathy. She knows her.
Yeah.
So
Will they come together?
sometimes in the tea talk, yeah, they met.
Oh.
So
Yeah, I haven't seen Kathy, and I haven't had a chance to call her either.
she's watching it.
Oh,
They
okay.
had
Yeah. Sometimes she heard your voice and then yeah,
Oh,
she wants to meet with you. Yeah.
mhm.
But yeah, her soul is in the garden always. Yeah. Yeah, her mission.
Kathy, beautiful job in the garden.
very nice garden. I'm
Yeah.
inspired to do the rest of the yard.
Okay, yes, yes. Yeah. Once she said beautiful thing in front of the temple,
Yes.
the rest of things will be the following. Yeah.
That's something.
She started the wheel going.
Yes.
Thank you, Kathy.
Yes. Indeed.
Okay, so today we're gonna go through the master's lecture on July 7th again, because maybe the second time will be greater understanding than the previous time, I believe. So I prepared for the piece of paper for you on the chair to understand the points in the lecture. Please take it, the piece of paper in your hand, and then let's go into it. Before that, we will have short meditation to open our spiritual eyes. And at the same time, it helps you to be in well-being through this meditation called golden butter meditation. Maybe you went through once or twice sometime. So I believe it's awakening for us to open our spiritual eyes towards our true self as light itself in us. So we'll make the golden butter, infiltrate it into our body. That finally we see the golden light of the butter gathering into our stomach like a golden bowl. We see it as our true self at the final stage in the 5 minutes. So yeah, and then you can watch it more spiritually. His words, yeah. Okay, that is today's service. We're gonna go. Okay. Right. So did you recite true words spoken by Buddha this morning? Okay. Honesty is very good thing. All right. So first we're gonna recite the true words spoken by Buddha together. Sorry, I don't use the PowerPoint today. So please have the true words spoken by Buddha Sutra in your hand right now and recite it together before going into the service.
The brown.
Oh, okay.
We have
The paper on the center table, right? Okay. Let's take a bow to Lord Kantare statue. The true words spoken by Buddha, Ryuho Okawa. There used to be the light in the great universe. The light is the energy of Buddha. People can live by this energy, and Buddha's energy has made human history. It will be supplied eternally. This eternal light comes from heaven and prevails on earth. This is the light of heaven. Through the prism of Buddha, there appear the seven colors of rainbow, arching over in the sky. Here you can see Buddha's mercy. Yellow is the color of teaching. White is the color of saving. Red is the color of justice. Purple is the color of obedience. Blue is the color of thinking. Green is the color of harmony. Silver is the color of progress. These seven colors help each other, and there appears Buddha land. Buddha land is shining brightly because of gathering of bodhisattvas. This is the land of love, or the land of mercy. This is the land of wisdom, or the land of teaching. Especially, this is the land of souls rest in peace. We also are the children of Buddha. The children of Buddha became real human beings. Real human beings have spirituality. The spirits are immortal powers. The spirits are immortal forces. The spirits are real entities. The physical bodies are the shadows of the spirits. It means you are the boat sailing down the great river. The great river is a symbol of the course of lives. Each of you sails down as a small boat, so you need a boatman. If you were not for your own boatman, you surely go aground. This boatman really means your mind. If your mind makes a mistake, the boat breaks into pieces by a large rock, and you also need a bamboo pole. This pole is the meaning of the true words. When you go down a rapid stream, you need to pant in a stream. Then you can change your course. The true words means the teaching of Buddha. Buddha enlightened and spoke the true words, and Buddha's teaching became a gold mine. This gold mine suggests various teachings. These are another expression of Buddha's truth. It brightens up your days, or to put it another way, the fruits of Buddha's mercy. All of you now here listen to me. Never lose your way, now and forever. The guiding hand has already waved. Please follow this white hand and go steadily on and on. Your lives are not limited to this world only. They have three aspects: the past, the present, the future. Your past have already gone by, yet still your mistakes will be kept in your minds. That is the reason why you should understand other people, and you yourself should reflect on what you have done. You and others are not different. On the contrary, both are children of Buddha and brothers and sisters. Now then, love each other. Let us bring up each other, and it's time to forgive each other. This is the eternal law, which penetrates the present and the future. Yes, indeed, the light of the dark night. The dark night of this world is hell. It is also the same in another world. Since we came down to this world, the sun of the truth is scheduled to rise. Now we are watching rising sun. It will show light to the future, to invite sad people to Buddha land. Now here I command, there shall not be conflict in this world. There shall not be distrust in this world. There shall not be crime in this world. There shall not be evil spirit in this world. There shall not be the devil in the next world. Only the ideal world, utopia, shall be realized. All of the people love each other, live harmoniously, believing in one another. The world is utopia. All of us could be the light of bodhisattvas, believing that the light has reality, believing that love has reality, believing that the truth has reality. These are the facts that should be conveyed. We, the light of bodhisattvas, get together, work together to keep right mind and live in tune with Buddha's words. Here we vow to do so. Yes. As I said, we will begin with meditation today. called Golden Butter Meditation, because I thought yesterday I was so astonished by the words from Lucy. Yeah, actually about love, Lucy got some kind of insight, yeah, on the love, because yeah, you see love itself, yeah, not the moment of love, but you see the presence of love in the words you said. If you see, when you see the people on the street, but they will be helped by God's intention on a certain timing, on a certain circumstances. God knows it. And then, yeah, you saw the spiritual thing more than the material body and the appearance of them. But you see, love itself can help them. So you don't stick to the appearance or the circumstances, but you totally believe in God's work in this world, and it has a meaning of life at the same time. The love is higher than the fundamental love that has an equality, very two-dimensional view for this world. But we will see from the perspective of the love that Master Ryokawa told right now, that is three-dimensional view on the things on earth, because you see sometimes like this, yeah. If you see two-dimensional, this one, square, but if you see from the perspective of spiritual eyes, you see it's round and at the same time square from this view. So you can see the things on earth from the spiritual view. You see in the right way the total figure of that thing. So like that, Lucy got the love for God, yeah, first, and then apply it to human. That is the meaning of the laws of Messiah. First thing, you love the Lord, and you love your neighbors. That's the one, like a three-dimensional view. Yeah. So I saw Lucy is now awakening to the truth in the depths of her heart. And then on top of that, she said she is trying to be in prayer 24 hours, right? That we learned last time in the principle of prayer. That is the state of mind called oneness with God that Master Ryokawa is doing every day. Yeah, actually, that is a compression of Eightfold Path. Yeah, from right view through to right meditation. In the prayer, 24 hours, you are one with God, right? So her words represent it. So I was so astonished. And then your existence will be the great example for the people in this Christian society. Yeah. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Yeah. And we will go into the golden bottle meditation today to open up our spiritual eyes more and more to receive his light in his words in the lecture. So I pray Master's guidance and simultaneously translating the words into English by my side. So let's go.
頭の上に金色のバター、金色ですね、バターが乗っていると
So
考えてくだ
please
さい。
imagine
このバターは
that you have the golden butter on top of your head.
このバターが次第次第に
This butter
溶けていき
will be
ます。
melted
皆さんの真理への
by
情
your
熱、
passion
熱意によってこのバター
towards
が
the
溶け
truth.
ていきます。溶けたバターは次第に髪の毛の一本一本に
All right. Hi, welcome. Okay. So we will start over again. All right. Henry, we will now meditate on a golden butter meditation to start with today's service. All right. So very shortly, let's recite prayer to the Lord before going into the prayer. I don't know, the meditation. Sorry. Yeah. Thank you, Joseph.
Pray to the Lord.
Yeah. It has a risk for you to go into the meditation without attuning your mind with God or higher vibration, not three-dimensional vibration. I recommend you to meditate after reciting some sutra in Happy Science. Right. Let's take a bow to the Lord Cantare. For people online, please pray again. Pray to the Lord. Oh Lord El Cantare, you're the source of all light, all power, all wisdom, and all love. May you give us light, give us power, give us wisdom, and give us love. O Lord, our Father, please protect this planet of love, Earth. Protect us from all evil and open a future for us. O Lord, thank you for giving us light. We give thanks from the bottom of our hearts. Okay. So again, the aim is to hold this golden butter meditation is for your health at the same time and in opening your spiritual eyes towards the truth, because it makes you awaken to your true self. That is light itself in you. It's called Buddha nature sometimes. Golden butter will be melted into your body and finally gathering into your stomach like a bowl, golden bowl, light itself. And you see it in the meditation state as true self of you. So let's go ahead. Firstly, please breathe deep into your stomach. And breathe out. Make your stomach empty. I mean, use your stomach, not only lung. Please inhale. And exhale. Inflating and deflating your stomach. Please keep breathing. That calms you down. let's go into the meditation.
頭の上に金色のバター、金色ですね。
Imagine
バターが
You have the
乗っていて
golden butter
考えてください。
on top
こ
of
の
your
バター
head.
は神の光で満
The
たされてい
butter
ます
is filled with God's light.
このバターが
The golden
次第
butter
次第に
will be
溶けてい
melted
きます。皆さんの
by your
真理への
passion
情熱、この熱意によ
for
っ
the
て
truth,
このバターが溶けていきます。
by the heat
溶
of
け
your
た
passion.
バターが次第に
The melted golden butter
一本の中
will
に
be filtrated
Smooth.
into every single of your hair
眉毛に、目に、耳
and
に、
eyebrow,
鼻に、
ears,
口に、
nose,
そして
and mouth.
脳の中にも次第に
Finally
染み込ん
into
でいき
your
ます。
brain,
脳の
into your
血の中に
wrinkles
その
of
一
the
本一本の中
brain.
にこの金色のバタ
The
ーが
golden
染み
butter
込んでいきます。
is melted
喉を通過していきます。
through your throat
そして左肩、
onto your left
右
shoulder,
肩、
right shoulder,
この上にも中にも静かに
into your
金色の
shoulders.
光が満ちてき
The
ます。
golden light
やが
is
て
filling in
右腕、左腕、すべてに
down to your left arm
いつの間
and
に
right
かこの
arm.
金色のバターが溶けて、皆さん
The
の
golden butter
血
is
液そのものにもなっています
melted into your blood vessels.
流れているのです。
It's
心臓の
flowing
中に金色の光で
into your blood vessels,
肺の中に胃の
into
中に
your lung,
腸の中
stomach,
に静かに静かに
intestines.
金色のこの
You can
輝
see
く液体が
quietly
広がっています。
the golden liquid flowing into your
Yeah.
blood vessels
胸から
and organs
お腹から
from your breast
次第次第に
down to your stomach,
太ももの方へと光が回っていきます。
going down into your
そし
legs,
て右足のつま先、
down
左
to
足
your
のつま先まで流
fingertips,
れていきます。足の爪の指、
Now you can see
その一枚一枚にも
every
光は
fingertips
満ちてきます。
are filled with this golden butter.
体全身が
Your whole body
金色に
is now
輝いています。
shining,
金色の光で満ち満ちています。
filled
内から
with
も外から
golden
も
light,
金色のエネルギーで満たされています。
golden energy.
しばらくこの金色の光の中で自らを
For
使
meanwhile,
わせてください。
please imagine that you're filled with this golden butter with God's light.
「では、全身に今、巡り巡った金色の光、このバターのエネルギーを、今、丹田を中心とした
So you will gather
お腹の部分に
this golden energy into your stomach.
女性であれば、ちょうど
You can
胎
imagine
児がお腹に宿っているように、そういうふうに
fetus in your
球体
stomach.
の光り輝くものが出来上がりつつあります。皆様の丹田の
Like a
丹
golden
田を
ball
中心とする
in your
その
abdomen.
球体の光が集まりつつあります。
You're gathering now
光を
the
集めていってく
golden
ださい。
light into your abdomen.
その球体を静かに見つめてください。
Please
それが
look
皆
at
さん
the
の
golden
本当の
ball.
姿であ
That
り、
is your true self.
Right. はい、静かに目を開けてください。
Okay, please open your eyes. Thank you. Right. In this state, if you see yourself as a golden ball, golden light, at the same time, you can see others like a golden light. And here, you can see as you and others are the same in essence. From here, the love originated. This idea is the foundation for love in the Eastern Buddhism way, combined with Christianity way, by happy science, right? Okay, in this state, you will receive the light more than your ordinary state in the three-dimensional life. Okay, so let's go through the points, 10 points for today's lecture from Master Ihokawa. Please take the note, pick the piece of paper around you. Yeah. So Master's lecture will be compiled into a chapter. Every single lecture will be compiled into a chapter of a book. So when Master speak, the words will be a word in a Bible, something. So we will carefully look at the words by Master Ihokawa. Before going into it, I will review the Master's words. 10 points. First, he speaks the fight against commonly accepted wrong values in this world. And next will be breaking through mistakes of materialism. And that goes to the point, the third point, scientific truth is included in religious truth. So you can see the religious truth above scientific truth. Yeah, like a six-dimensional world is based on the wisdom and knowledge, but above that, there is a virtue or religious compassion. That is the angel's world. So you can make it a verb, the religious truth above scientific truth. The fourth, breaking through misjudgments towards abortion, which is now discussed in the US. Fifth, the foundation for the judgment based on reincarnation system that is not taught in Christianity, including the point souls that dwell into animals. So that is described by Master Ihokawa precisely. You can never sing but happy science. So you can 6 points, you can change the destiny of yourself and even your country by the teaching in happy science. Seventh, on LGBTQ, Ukraine, mass media, and the governance by the US, by Biden. Eighth, judgment with the perspective from afterlife and eternal life taught by happy science. Ninth, now the world needs be independent and strong. The lecture title. 10th, be the leader with the true wisdom on value system right now. Okay, so put it into your mind and go ahead. So I separate the lecture into two parts. After first half, we will discuss about it and go on to the next latter half.
Many people are here today. Thank you all for coming. This year we managed to book Saitama Super Arena on July 7, exactly on my birthday. It's normally difficult, so I guess we have the coronavirus to thank for that. I'm grateful for this. The seventh wave of COVID is said to have begun. But like I've said, the pandemic will last another 2.5 years, so please accept this fate. But I don't think many people will become critically ill and die from it. So please have an unshakable faith and keep on making diligent effort. We're not going to lose against a mere virus. It's important to strongly believe in this. I have thoroughly investigated the cause of the virus. But the world doesn't accept it and support us, so it hasn't borne fruits yet. Bad events will still continue around the world. I'm sure during this decade of the 2020s, we will achieve great victory. We are now in the middle of our fight. I have been working for many years now. So far, we've become the largest religion among those that started after World War II in Japan. And we are gaining international recognition. Even so, we still haven't reached our true mission. One of the reasons for this is that the values that are widely accepted in the world are quite far from the truth. So even if I dispatch various teachings to the world, there still aren't enough people who open-heartedly accept and spread them. Take, for example, my early books such as The Laws of Success, An Unshakable Mind, and Invincible Thinking. In Kenya, Africa, the government officially adopted them as supplementary textbooks for schools. They made such a decision based on the contents of the books. Thank you very much. Kenyans decided to teach the laws of success, invincible thinking, and an unshakable mind to their children in their school education. They had never met me or heard much about me. They just read the books and felt that they would be of great benefit to children's lives if they read them while in school. This is just like when Japan became more westernized in the late 1800s thanks to books like Self-Help and Yukichi Fukuzawa's An Encouragement of Learning. Similarly, there are countries that use my books to change their nation.
しているところもあります。だけれども
However, here in Japan and the West, which consists of mainly Christian countries and to which Japan
日本が属している
belongs,
ところの西洋キリスト教文明圏においては
people are still highly influenced by established values.
既成の価値観の流れの
What's
中
more,
にあり
those established values are rapidly headed in the wrong direction.
どんどん悪いものへと変わっていくその流れの中で
In such a trend, many excellent brains are getting wasted.
うずもれていっております。
It's a shame. Let me put it another way. The fundamental beliefs and values of a country will always be reflected in its school system.
価値観というものは必ず学校教育に反映されるものです。
Materialism is researched scientifically, but not everything can be clarified through it.
科学の研究の中で探求されることはあろうとは思いますが、それで
It is
全てが解
unfortunate
明さ
that
れる
people
わけ
do
では
not
ない
realize such a simple truth.
そのぐらいのことに気がつかないということは残念なことです。よく教育し
It is unfortunate
選ばれし人々がものの
that the well-educated and chosen people are only focused on materialistic research and its concrete applications.
活用を考えることに終始しているということは残念なことです。
They probably think what is not materialistic is not scientific, and it will not lead to opening the space age. I want these people to read the novel The Unknown Stigma introduced earlier. It's a trilogy, and the third book is about the universe. I only briefly touched on this, but I would like them to read it thoroughly. I want them to read it because I briefly describe the principles that enable UFOs to fly, as well as the principles that enable them to travel 2.3 million light years to arrive at Earth all the way from Andromeda Galaxy. It means it will take 2.3 million years at the speed of light. A living human wouldn't be able to make it, would they? It's impossible even with the use of fuel, nuclear power, or any other form of energy that exists on Earth. Ever since Einstein, it has been said that there is essentially nothing that can exceed the speed of light. So it is unimaginable that humanity could travel and bear the speed greater than that. Even the closest planet to us is around 4 light years away. I'm sure you've seen it in the animated movies produced by Happy Science. It depicts space people coming to Earth from planet Umo, which is only 4 light years away. I say only 4 light years, but that's 4 years moving at the speed of light. So not a single vehicle on Earth can take us there and bring us back so easily. I describe the way to transcend spatial distance and time in the novel, so please read it carefully. They don't use any machines, they don't use any fuel, they actually use another power. UFOs do not contain any machinery. What makes UFOs fly is enlightenment and willpower that you are now training. It's about understanding. Understanding the true nature of the universe, understanding how our physical bodies are made, how living organisms are made, how the stars and planets in the universe are made, how galaxies are made, what God was thinking when He created it all. Awakening and understanding these things will become the power to transcend time and space. Those who are not awakened to this truth cannot travel through space. For more than 10 years, I have been telling you that various kinds of space people have come to Earth. I've never counted the exact number, but according to our editorial division, more than 500 species have come to Earth so far. This many space people have reached a level high enough in their science and technology to come to Earth. Humanity isn't anywhere close to that yet. We have to go beyond it. And to achieve it, materialism is not what we need. It's not materialism. We need to combine religious enlightenment and scientific truth. Or rather, we need to realize that scientific truth is found in the religious truth.
悟ることなんです。
This is important. Japan launched a small rocket. It went to a tiny asteroid called Ryugu and brought back rock samples.
竜宮っていう小さな、隕石みたいな小さな星から岩石を持って帰ったりしていますけども、
If they had asked me, I could have brought some back in the blink of an eye.
ぐらいのものなんですけど、
I'm just half
半
joking.
分冗談ですけども、
I can't bring back samples as a gift, but I am capable of going there and seeing
出て
it.
くることは私は可能。
Science has already reached its limit. To go farther, humanity needs to enter the world of enlightenment.
科学も壁にも
We have to surpass that barrier.
越えなきゃいけないんです。
We absolutely must. We're able to launch rockets, satellites, and nuclear missiles.
人工衛星を飛ばしたり、核ミサイル飛ばしたり、して
But to space people, these are all nothing more than children's water
スペ
play.
ースピープルの目から見れば、子供の水遊び程度ぐらいしか見えてないんですよ。
They're watching Earthlings being proud at such a level and thinking, they still have a long way to go. I wonder when they'll catch up to us.
宇宙の普通のレベル
Or it may take more time for them to reach the standard level of the universe. I intend to teach the laws that will enable us to get that far.
あるんですが、世界の体制が
The situation on Earth is so far behind that I don't know if I can teach them all. It's truly regrettable.
極めて、残念な、ところです。
I heard that HSU will be launching a rocket this year.
ロケットを飛ばすそうですけども、
It's of course better to launch one than to not, but we still have a long way to go. Sooner or later, they will learn to go there for free, if they study hard, of course. Such a time will come. I hope they will keep studying, combine what they learn with their enlightenment, and reach the cutting edge of science.
科学の最先端にまで立っていただきたいなというふうに思っています。
The reason I'm bringing this up is because I find it regrettable how, with the advancements of academic studies,
よく勉強なされた方がどんどん言う
those who have studied hard are moving closer to adopt materialism.
思っているんですよ。そして
As for religion, their foundation is still based on teachings from 2,000 to 3,000 years ago,
新しいものに対しては信用
and they don't have much trust in anything new, so there's no progress.
ないんですよね。
That's why it's impossible for science and religion to progress together hand in
並
hand.
行して一緒に進んでいくことができない、ところなんですよ。
Take, for example, the recent case of the Supreme Court in the US.
判決と見ましてもですね、例えば
The country is now divided and is wavering over the decision of whether the abortion is right or not.
という判決に関して国を二分して大きく判断が揺れております。
Currently, the judges are mostly conservative, and a decision was made to say that abortions are unconstitutional. This made the nation waver greatly, and President Biden called it a tragedy and a tragic ruling. If human rights protection means that mothers can do whatever they please with their bodies,
体を自分の自由にさせるということを人権を守るということに考えるならば
then you could agree with his view.
部分もあると思います。
However, such a view does not consider the human rights of fetuses. Christianity does not clearly teach on this matter. They vaguely understand that a soul in heaven enters the baby. But there aren't any clear teachings on this. It's not included in their basic teachings. People generally think that a sperm and an egg fuse together to become a tiny organism, and that once it develops to a human form enough to be born and lives as a human, abortion will become murder. But many people think that before that stage, abortion is allowed because it's not yet a human. According to my spiritual investigation, the conclusion has been consistent. The soul in the spirit world enters the female's womb at 9 weeks of pregnancy. That's around the 3rd month of pregnancy, when the mother notices she is pregnant. The soul is already there when she realizes she is pregnant. There are no exceptions to this. Souls cannot choose to enter the womb when they like. For example, at 6 months, 8 months, or some impatient ones at 4 weeks. It's not like that. Most definitely, the soul enters the womb at 9 weeks. The fetus inside the mother's body is still small, so it may not seem like a human, but it has a soul. In the spirit world, souls with an adult consciousness will first register themselves at a reincarnation center. and decide where to be born. Then they change into a form that allows them to enter the womb and receive philosophical education to be born as a fetus. That's how they are born. No other religion teaches this. I have not heard of any sufficient teachings of the soul at birth, or teachings of reincarnation in Islam either. Some Eastern religions teach this a little, so some people may have some understanding, but even so, it is unclear. In most cases, because of Christian influences, people just believe that souls will remain after death. They believe in the afterlife for humans and that they will either be doomed to hell for eternity or be led into heaven and be reborn from purgatory after repenting. I wonder if our interpreters can come up with the word purgatory correctly, though. Anyway, there are also people who will go straight to heaven. It is said people will be divided in this way. I believe we need to teach this in greater detail. Even the world religions have not taught this enough. Frankly, in Japanese Shinto too, there's no clear distinction between heaven and hell. It is even unclear if hell exists or not if we look at their teachings. It almost seems like gods, hellish spirits, and monsters are all living together on the same plane. This is because they don't have a clear teaching on good and evil. Japanese Shinto doesn't clearly teach what is good and what is evil. That's why they are behind. They don't clearly teach good and evil. And they also can't clearly distinguish humans and animals, plants, or other creatures. Some animals live near humans, such as pets you might have or livestock. These animals that observe people and their life have souls. They normally have souls and they observe people to study how they can be more like humans. But as for animals that don't live near people and are distant, their souls will be lower in quality. They will only be living creatures with basic emotions. There are many creatures that are at an even lower level of development. They're only endowed with a life energy that shows conditioned emotions. However, creatures that are of a certain size are endowed with a soul that is of a primitive form. Even with fish, crabs, or shrimps, the big ones have primitive form of the soul. I can see that they have some emotions to sense their likes and dislikes, or good things and bad things to some extent. So all things are in the process of evolution in terms of their souls. There are also cases when human souls degrade. Some souls can be judged to be unworthy to continue reincarnating as humans, and are told to experience being an animal as an experiment. They are in what's called the hell of beasts, or the animal world. Some souls reach a level where they can no longer be allowed to reincarnate as a human. These souls do not just live in the place called the hell of beasts. There are cases when human souls are made to go inside animals' bodies by dint of some power. There is hope. Their lives on earth will be short. Many animals only live for a year or two, or maybe 5 or 10 years, so such an experience will last just a few years. Once they are born as animals, they will come to understand how fortunate it was to be born as a human. For the first time, they will realize how fortunate it was to be able to speak, how fortunate it was to be able to move around freely. They will deeply feel in their hearts how fortunate it was to have a family and live as a member of society, and to be able to contribute to the world. Such a system still exists, and the number of souls are now slightly increasing. Please know that. I don't believe that you, who have come to hear my lecture at Saitama Super Arena, will end up reincarnating as animals in the next life. I'm sure you won't, but just in case, please hold on to today's pamphlets when you are cremated. and say, I heard Ruho Kawa's lecture at Saitama Super Arena. Can't you see how faithful I am? Negotiate as such with Emma, the special judge of hell. Perhaps he will take that into consideration. Nowadays, we have a closer relationship with him, and we often keep in touch. Please declare that you were at Saitama Super Arena, or how many times you've heard my lectures on satellite broadcast. I'll ask him to make some allowances. On the other hand, those who were given Happy Science books, but rejected them a number of times might be doomed. Their confession may well be out of the question. Such a simple religious view is truly basic knowledge and a matter of course in Happy Science. This simple religious truth can influence the ruling of the Supreme Court of the US. And it is where the Republicans and Democrats disagree. The next one is said to be a ruling on an LGBTQ issue. A ruling whether same-sex marriage is constitutional or unconstitutional is being anticipated in the US. Right now, people on the Democratic side, including Mr. Biden, are working very hard to spread LGBTQ across the world. It is already...
Okay. So first half is ended.
Okay.
Right. So how did you feel the difference between right now and the previous time?
Oh.
Joseph?
From seeing it the other day.
Yeah.
Yes, there's things I missed,
Yeah.
and
Many points. Yeah.
mhm.
I counted 101 points
Mm,
precisely. Yeah.
yes.
Uh,
And sometimes when we're thinking of one point,
yeah. And then he
2
moves.
points missed
Yeah.
because I'm still thinking of
Yes.
it and processing.
Yeah.
And then now I can pick up the other 2 more clearly.
Okay. Yes. I think so. So this will be the next law series,
Mm.
I guess. So you can read it into the book. So yeah. How about you, Lucy?
Wait, he said he wrote a book on, what is that? I wrote it down. But anyway, I'm gonna put this aside for a while, but what really got me is the animal.
Oh,
Yeah.
And-
I thought that.
Yeah, and sometimes I'm ashamed to even share it with people because it's hard for them to believe. But you know, the squeaky, you know, that
Yes.
he is really something.
Mm.
And I really believe, and my sister Tommy believes that too, he understands because
Mhm.
first of all, because he eat a lot.
Mm.
And one day I called him fatty, and so did Tommy. He got so mad, he stopped eating, he walked away.
Oh my
Didn't come back.
gosh. Oh my
Until-
gosh.
But then, you know, she loved him so much, so she always said, I love you, my baby, and stuff like this.
Oh yeah.
She says, you're a good boy, yeah. And he goes like this. He can be eating, but he'll go like this. And then another time, just recently, she, what you call that? Oh, so much I want to share. this
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
you.
Okay.
But I don't know. I gotta come back to that.
Yeah.
Much.
Those are-
But I really do believe, you know, about the soul.
Yeah.
And then sometimes his ways I kind of see, like I tell Tommy, you're looking at yourself.
Mm.
Because he can be moody at times and yet he can be loving. And then he'll be so obedient with her one moment. And then sometimes he act opposite, and I'm telling Tommy, maybe because he think, oh, he better not treat you so good, so he's going to be a little bit naughty. You know what I mean? I see things like that. He played games with her, so he's thinking,
Yeah,
I think,
yeah.
and he observed a
Yeah,
lot.
yeah.
And even when Tommy went away and I started to feed him, his tone of voice changed. I don't understand what he's saying,
Oh yeah.
but it changes
Yes.
real mellow because he was kind of upset with Tommy because Tommy wouldn't feed his friends,
Oh.
like the cats, you know,
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So he kind of was harsh with her. But
Yes.
when I kind of throw things, you know, and stuff like that,
Yeah.
he is softer.
Yeah, actually, as he mentioned, if they live together with humans, they understand the emotion of humankind and they get closer to human.
Mm.
And the other case, they are reincarnated
Mm.
by humankind and then live with you right now as human beings
Oh.
dwells into the animal's body, and they learn how precious it was a human being, right?
They
So,
learn to appreciate.
Yeah. So in the same reason, so the reincarnation system gives you some experiences, like sometimes animals. This is a very rare case, but he wants to try to say for the next point of LGBTQ, he tried to mention that is closer to the life of animals, right? Because man have a sexual intercourse that is like same as animals do, right? If you mean, I'm not going into precisely, but yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So yeah, the reincarnation system makes you understand what is good, what is evil, right? Yeah. Differentiate human being from animals. Yeah. That is the meaning of faith. We can see invisible thing by faith. Yeah. Distinguishing humans from animals. Animals cannot see invisible things and build the concept invisibly, right? Only human beings can do. So you can be distinguished by the animals with faith and the understanding precisely this kind of reincarnation system. Yeah. Now, not taught by Christianity, but if we knew the reincarnation system, we shouldn't do the animal thing, like a sodomy, something like that. So based on the reincarnation system, we can go into the correct judgment, the things on earth. That is the latter half of this lecture. And on top of that, we review the master's saying on the universe thing. Yeah, as he said, if we know the creation of the universe, how it is created, and how the human beings are created, or something like that. We cannot, unless we know that, we cannot go into the space age. Yeah, it's his words. It's about understanding the true nature of the universe, understanding how our physical bodies are made, how living organisms are made, how the stars and planets in the universe are made, how galaxies are made, what God was thinking when he created it all. Awakening and understanding these things will become the power to transcend time and space, right? So the Buddhism teaching can be separated into three parts. That we human beings are created by the will of God. Yeah. And this world is only temporary in this sense. The other world is a reality, but this world is only temporary. So totally turn over our view on this world. This is the first point. Next, that leads you to understand the teaching of abandon your attachment on your physical body, right? So your physical body is not you. So your soul itself, as we meditate, your light itself. To be born in the heavenly world is birth, not death. To be born in this world is death from the perspective of heaven. This is a reality. So turn over your perspective to the opposite, right? So this is a second thing called abandoning your attachments. Yeah, because we are influenced by the worldly things every day. That is stronger than the invisible things in the worldly sense. You need to abandon the attachment. this is the second one, yeah, that leads you to transcend space and time. If you are souls, you can be transparent and you can move around far away from here immediately if your awareness is getting high enough, right? This is what Master said. I can see the space, yeah. So in this ability, he can communicate with space people, yeah, not only the spirits, okay? So that is what he is saying here, right? So through the ancient teaching of Buddhism, 2,600 years ago, abandon your attachment leads you to the spaces you see here, right? Right. This is the basic teaching of Buddhism, yeah. Then he is saying he is a reincarnation of Buddha himself, and he adapted the Buddhism teaching into this modern age. He's now trying, combining all the religions, Christianity, Islam, and Judaism, so on, right? Based on a Buddhism teaching, yeah. Okay, and then I'd like to show that he was saying also his teaching influenced on the judgment of the Supreme Court in the US. That is actually proved by the fact that we have a friend, right? As you said, as saw last time, in the head of mass media in the US, right? We remember it to review the fact like this. So the person is Robert Thompson, now is the head of a news corporation, succeeded by the Rupert Murdoch. So he's under his wing, there's a Fox News, Wall Street Journal, and a New York Post that is now against like a CNN worldview on the Ukraine. They started to be against the helping Ukraine Zelensky thing, right? But they are against it right now. The group is only existence to be against the kind of commonly accepted wrong news, right? Fake news. All right, so let's listen to them.
そして海外からもご祝辞を頂戴しております。ウォール・ストリート・ジャーナル、ニューヨーク・ポスト等を傘下に持つメディア企業、ニュースコーポレーション CEO であるロバート・トムソン様からお祝いのメッセージを頂戴しました。ご覧ください。
For anyone to write one book is a great achievement. For any person to write 3,000 books is truly extraordinary. And it just shows you how extraordinary the master is. It's important in these days of materialism that we allow the flourishing of spirituality, of ideas, of philosophy, and have a greater meaning to our existence. And so any spirituality is a good thing to cherish. And so let me congratulate the master on 3,000 books. That's only 2,997 more than me. All the very best.
Right. So he received, he bought The Laws of Messiah and read it. He bought this Putin's God and spiritual message and read it. So we are influencing on these people in every corner of the world as a international group of happy science. So yeah, based on this, yeah, we can change the world, right? Fundamentally changing our perspective. Yeah. Okay, so let's go ahead to the latter half.
Already spreading in Japan too. People are fearing that the US Supreme Court might rule it as unconstitutional. I was putting off making decisions on it because there weren't many sample cases. LGBTQ is up to the individual's freedom. If it makes them happy, that may be one way to live. But I needed to wait for more people to die to see where they would go. It may be inappropriate to say this, but I needed more sample cases of the LGBTQ people who went to the other world to decide whether it is right or wrong. That's why I didn't speak clearly about it. And when I went to Canada to give a lecture, I visited a monument of the pioneer of homosexual movements. After I got back to the hotel that day, the person's spirit visited me, and we recorded his spiritual message. The spirit of the man I didn't even know the name of came to me, and we learned that there was such a man but has now fallen to hell. So during the Q&A session after my lecture in Canada, I mentioned in English for the first time about the high chance of LGBTQ people going to hell. I heard one of the audiences was shocked and said, "I need to warn my grandchildren about this, so people don't know what would happen to them." Of course, freedom is good, but social responsibilities will usually follow freedom. You can live freely as long as you can take responsibilities for your actions. In this world, there are laws and people can live freely as long as they don't go against them. When you drive a car, for example, as long as you drive within the speed limits set by the law and follow other traffic rules, you are free to drive how you want. However, if you violate the rules, you may cause an accident and put others in danger. As a consequence, you may be imposed additional limitations for violating the limits of your freedom. There are certain matters that even the US President or Supreme Court don't know. These are the things that only religious leaders can teach. So while I'm grateful that the opinions I voice have a certain level of influence, I wish it can reach more people. It is my wish that my thoughts can have much more say in the world. I myself believe that it is better for the Western-style democratic system and ideologies to prevail during this century and the next. It's of course welcoming, but this doesn't mean that all of their ideas are right, so it's dangerous. To be more specific, I believe I must speak out against matters that are likely to drag people in the direction of hell. Right now, there is a war between Ukraine and Russia. It's loathsome. No religious leader welcomes people to die in war. It is terrible to hear about tens of thousands of people losing their lives. I'm sure the war zone is like the hell of strife, and the dead cannot probably return to heaven so easily under such circumstances. Things are going to be tough for them. This is certainly true from one perspective. I don't think there are any religious leaders who love wars and encourages them. I also wish for no war. However, there is another value judgment, and I do believe I have to speak about world justice, or the ways of thinking that should guide the world from now on. From the outset, most media have been saying that Russia invaded Ukraine one-sidedly. So Russia is on the bad side, while Ukraine is on the good. They kept on reporting how we had to help Ukraine and how the world was moving in that direction. But now, after 4 months have passed, their reports are starting to change. They wonder how long the situation will continue, using the expression Ukraine fatigue. I think it is an interesting use of words, Ukraine fatigue. I think they're getting enough of the situation and feeling tired. They want to stop it by now. This is probably what they mean to express. There are many ways to express the situation. I would usually agree that justice is to help the weak when the weak is abused by the strong. This is true in general. However, in the case of Ukrainian President Zelensky, it's a little different. The majority of people seem to treat him like a hero and support his actions of making appearances to various world conferences via video calls. Then what about Africa, some Asian regions, and Latin America? And there is NATO, led by the US.
アメリカが主導するような NATO 型の考え方ですね。
NATO is not the same as EU. NATO stands for North Atlantic Treaty Organization.
北大西洋条約機構という
It was established as the collective defense against the Soviet Union's Warsaw Pact's military forces.
組織に対抗するために作られているようなもんでだって本来は
This means when the Soviet Union collapsed, NATO should have dissolved as
崩
well.
壊した段階で NATO も NATO ですね英語では
But even after the collapse of the Soviet Union, NATO continues to grow to this date
それをまあずっと続けて
and even tries to expand further.
対して
So President Putin expressed his concerns and warned them that Russia will take action if its expansion continues.
まあこれ
We'll not get into details here as I've already published various books on this matter.
細かいことには入らないし細かいこと言ってもわからない方も
Many people may not understand if I go into too much
しま
detail.
せんけれどもまあ率直な
But honestly speaking, I don't think President Putin has gone insane.
ボケてはいないというふうに考えています
He's thinking very logically and rationally.
ただ
Since he has less time to go outside and exercise, he may not appear as fit as he used to be, but he is mentally still fit.
ですね
It's clearly Mr. Biden who might be a bit senile.
明らかにこちら危ない
His guardian spirit is beginning to lose sanity too, so I'm afraid of what he might do.
まあ
Mr. Zelensky is not senile, but his intellectual level might be questionable, not sufficient.
ね
As a comedian, he played the role of president, and then he was actually elected as president. Such shallowness of the nation is a little disappointing. We have a few Japanese actors who played the role of a prime minister. There would be trouble if any of them became our actual prime minister. They can act like one because they have a script. Without it, they cannot bear the responsibilities for their decision-making. This is the concerning point. Mr. Zelensky probably believes that what gains more media coverage and audience ratings is right and accords with justice. This may be right according to business and mass media, but it is different from the true justice. I have never heard Mr. Zelensky talk about God, faith, or prayers. Similarly, Mr. Biden talks about fighting for democracy. But he never mentions faith in God, which is the foundation of democracy. We have asked his guardian spirit whom he shares close connections with in the spirit world. And it's clear that he is not connected to any of the spiritual beings whom we call angels, bodhisattvas, tathagatas, or yet higher beings in the Savior's world. So he probably believes that justice is what is supported by the general people. He is at such a level. So I believe we must not expect much of him. Some may believe that justice is what is supported by many media. But just like the election, the media tend to support whatever they think the majority will easily understand and agree to. They do not consider God's will at all. They don't think about it. This is a big problem. And it will be an extremely big problem in the future. In Japan, too, faith has gradually been lost. There are some broadcasting ethics that says TV should not deal with religion. It means they see religion as evil. The Constitution of Japan guarantees freedom of religion. So this is actually a violation of the Constitution. The media get together behind the scenes to do such a thing. So while they air TV series like Yokai Sharehouse or something with hell in the title, decent works that contain religious values are not aired. That's how it is. This is a bit strange and wrong. There's something wrong with the Ministry of Education, too. People accept gang-related movies or more wicked movies that deal with murder, and such movies receive many awards. But I think this is wrong. Movies about Yakuza strife or murder mysteries are the ones that get awarded or attract people's attention. For some reason, a movie about shoplifting for a living was awarded too. Seeing this, I feel something is wrong in this world. There is no ethical norm. You may think it is a mature way of living. Some may think that mature people look at the world as impure. However, the standard in the spirit world hasn't changed at all. Recently, we have published a spiritual message from Red Ogre. He says, I've been working as a Red Ogre for 1200 years, but the laws of the spirit world hasn't changed. Even if you say you changed in the last 100 or 200 years, the spirit world hasn't, so you cannot make any excuse. This is very simple, but this is the truth. The spirit world hasn't changed. You cannot convince them. Some people believe that their lives in this world is their only life, and think that a good life is a convenient, fun, and satisfactory one in a materialistic sense. To them, such a life may be idealistic. When they are asked, if afterlife exists, do you think you are forgiven? There are many things that are not acceptable. I want you to know about this. When doing mission work or giving the books of truth to others, you may often meet people who won't open up to you, or throw the book back at you, or even throw it away. But it is very, very sad not knowing what is important and what is not. Many ministers and prime ministers, for example, have actually gone to hell. So the value judgment in the spirit world is different from that of this world. You must accept this. They are actually unable to escape hell. Some may see themselves as a great person in a worldly sense and say, I made lives easier for you. I gave 100,000 yen to everyone to make them happy. I promised to give out 10 million yen for every child you have, so I've done good deeds. Whether this will lead to heaven or hell is another question. It must be judged in light of Buddha's truth as well. Like today's lecture title, Be Independent and Strong, which I translated from the Japanese title. Being independent is an important thing to live as a human being. What does it mean to be independent? It means to do what you can do by yourself. Only when you've built your foundation and gained the strength to live by yourself can you have a family and voice your opinions freely. And when you are recognized as a responsible adult, your words will be taken seriously. I want you to know that this is the way the world should work. Of course, we have freedom of speech, but we must be independent to exercise this freedom. TVs now don't report about us at all. Some radio stations broadcast for us if we pay some money. And in most places, they take up things that are insignificant, but neglect things that are valuable. So we must do what we can by ourselves. That is why religion must be media itself. We must be able to talk about our teachings, say what we want to say, and give opinions to the world on our own. We need such independence, even as an individual, if you want to teach others. You need to make enough effort to be able to confirm yourself that you are independent enough to do so. On top of that, you must be strong. I believe it is important to become independent and strong. When I was watching the news these few days, I found an unbelievable news. Apparently, the Japanese tax revenue last year was 67 trillion yen, which was the highest record. Was the economy that good? The corporate tax, the personal tax, and the consumption tax were all at their highest level. It is as if this report was made to show they can dole out money. Was consumption so high last year? I saw many shops go bankrupt. There were almost no tourists, no foreigners. I wonder why it prospered that much. It's strange. I guess there will be news around September to say that the report was wrong, the economy was bad. As always, there are good news about the economy before the election, but will fall again after that. They always use the same strategy, but everyone forgets every time. They say the economy is at best. Well, if that's true, there shouldn't be any problem. So they have the power to suppress the political parties that call for tax cut or call against dole-out policy. But in reality, I believe there are lots of wasteful actions. I'm sure there were lots of waste in the COVID measures they took. These things are not investigated. They made excuses saying it was the side effect. There are many cases of death and after effect because of that. They conceal all these things. They deny its casual relationship and conceal it all. Japan is ranked in the 70s for the freedom of press in the world. It is no different from China, Russia, and South Korea. We might be a little better off than North Korea. The freedom of press is only at the average level of the world, and the information is very much manipulated. So please go beyond that and determine what is important information. With 67 trillion yen in tax revenue, Japan is planning a national budget of 140 trillion yen. What does it mean? It means they are thinking of having the loan of 73 trillion yen through the government bonds and scattering the money next year. Think about it in terms of a company. On a smaller scale, let's say the company's sales was 6.7 billion yen. But it will borrow another 7.3 billion yen. Do you think the company will survive? It will certainly go bankrupt, 100%. It's obvious. Let's take the analogy down to an even smaller scale. There's a coronavirus loan, and many companies and shops which face the risk of bankruptcy due to the pandemic are borrowing money with no collaterals, no interest. Over 1/4 of them are now having trouble paying back their loans. Debt must be paid back. So even though no collaterals and no interest sound like a good deal, if you use the loan to cover your everyday deficit, obviously you will go bankrupt because you won't be able to repay it when you need to. You're just delaying your bankruptcy. So the government's policies will most probably invite many more companies to go bankrupt. The government is only trying hard to keep companies from going bankrupt now because it is before the election. But once it's over, they will go under. So what I mean by independent is for each person to think about how to manage their work to keep it going. You must not live beyond your means. You must not be pretentious. Mr. Biden and Mr. Zelensky are both pretentious. They're pretending. I believe so. But you must face reality and be realistic. And know your limits. It's important to know your own abilities and work within your limits. Cut back on meaningless things and focus on important things. Use your money effectively on things that will potentially develop in the future. Survive this period and be able to continue working longer. These are the important things to do as a human, as a family, as a company, and as a nation. We are at a crossroads now. This lecture is being broadcasted live to 3,500 locations around the world. But sadly, the viewership won't reach as high as TV shows do. It will take several months to reach people all around the world. For the people in Mongolia, we need to screen this lecture under a tent, in the grassland. It's not so easy. But I will continue to do what I can. I am still unable to change how the entire world works, but I will keep on indicating the right value judgment. Japan is still under zero interest rate policy. It's an optimistic management decision. The reason the government is doing this is to prevent their debt from increasing. That's all. If the interest on government loan increases, they won't be able to repay it. It will only get larger, so they cannot raise the interest rate. There must be fake numbers in the statistics. The US has been suffering an inflation rate of 8.6% or more. Sri Lanka is at 60%, and they are saying that their country has gone bankrupt. They've fallen into China's debt trap. China is cruel and won't help them. It's said that China itself has a deficit of 150 trillion yen. Many places will go bankrupt due to debt. To survive through these times wisely, you will need great wisdom. And we provide such wisdom. So I hope the people who study Happy Science teachings will be independent and strong, and go on to save the world. You cannot save people unless you are independent. The public opinion might say you don't need to be independent to save people, but don't be fooled by that. If the national budget requires double the tax revenue, it means half of the people are making the government spend wasteful money, so you must stand on your own feet. You must live strongly through these times. Japan must become a country that can continue to serve as the world leader even in the next century and onward. It must be a bright country that can lead the world. A country that will create new values even after the Western values collapse. That is what I wish of Japan. I ask for your continued support of Happy Science. Thank you very much.
Thank you. What was that, Henry?
How many people are in that hall?
20,000.
20,000.
Yeah.
He does that every time?
Yeah, twice a year on his birthday around July 7th and then the December.
No.
We have two biggest lecture event in a year. Yeah.
He travels.
Yeah, or gather from the mainly Tokyo, the central area of Japan.
Oh.
Yeah, sometimes from Hokkaido, from Okinawa, something like that, but mainly covered by the central part of Japan. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a dog when I was a kid. I swear he came down from the God realm.
Mm.
He was just that intelligent, that
Mm,
well mannered. I mean, he was really a sophisticated creature.
mhm,
And I mean, everybody liked him.
mhm,
And just it's obvious to me he wasn't a dog, really. I mean, his mind and his spirit.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Maybe like your son or daughter, you promised the dog to be reborn
Mm.
from the heavenly world, and then they have experience on earth.
No,
As
the God realm. The God realm is like Zeus, those kind of guys. And that's a super ego realm. That's like they're just really powerful. You know, and they only live there for so long. And then they know they can see their next rebirth and they get really bummed out because they're alive for another 7 days, which to us is a very long time. So they have to live with that knowledge. And all the other gods, they don't want to be around one that's dying. So they just kind of throw flowers at them from far away. It's a real suffering realm when it's over. And then they come back and they can easily go on the animal realm.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. So some animals can develop into the human soul. It's very rare case, but yeah, actually, that's written in the Buddhist scripture. That was some kind of not accurate, but yeah, actually reincarnation system has its development system. Not like the Darwin, the theory of evolvement, not like that. That is our human beings are originated from the bacteria, so that is wrong. But spiritually, at the same time, the Darwin age, there's another man called Wallace. He developed the theory of a spiritual development at the same time with Darwin.
Wow.
Yeah, but Darwin stole the idea from Wallace. And then he developed by the theory of spiritual development, removing the spiritual part from it and created materialism. So this is a tragedy, starting point of tragedy for 200 years right now. Yeah, just like a reverse of the history, right? Yes, and then maybe it's fantastic to know the independent life is insisted by happy science if it's against the many population, but we need to say depending on the law of cause and effect. Yeah, it's the law of the universe. It's not changing. Yeah, we never get by chance from the sky. Yeah, we are building up ourselves by our effort on our own striving. So yeah, we need to say it. Yeah, be independent and strong and self-help to the people, even to save the homeless people. Yeah, not get them the money, get them the temporary saving, but we need to teach throughout the nationwide self-help teaching. Yeah, to save them. Yeah, we need sometimes 20 or 10% safety net to save them in a physical way, materialistic way, but it's not being measured. Yeah, So this is just in case, but we need to live on a foundation of self-help teaching because we have a Buddha nature within ourselves that is manifesting as same as God. The power is strengthened by our effort, not the outside power. If we make an effort, the help will come. Depending on the amount of our effort, yeah. Unless we are making efforts, the outside power will not come. So this is a correct way to think. The order is there. Firstly, we help ourselves by ourselves and then save others. Yeah. So that's what he said here in the words. Unless we save ourselves, you cannot save others. Okay. This is a conclusion of this lecture. All right. Thank you so much for gathering today. Yeah. If you want to have his words, I can give you. Tell me. Yes. Thank you so much. Okay. So let's take a bow to the altar. Thank you, Lord.
Peter, I notice the notice over here we're supposed to not take pictures. We should have prior permission to take picture.
Oh, no recording the video.
Or
The
the
lecture, the
recording,
lecture.
the video you.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's for this video. Sometimes bad mass media people. Yeah, squeeze in and sneaky into our temple and recorded it for the bad magazine. Yeah, they sell it to the bad magazines.
You know, the demonic forces in the Talmud, you know, they say that the one world ruler is going to be a homosexual, and they have to prepare the world for his coming by making homosexuality normal. That's in the Talmud, according to a Jewish teacher.
Oh yeah.
The Talmud is the Jewish one that they created in. It was created in Babylon by some really sick people, and they got some really weird rules in there about permission. So there's a huge effort to, and also the other half of that was remove all the symbols of the church. When those two things, they had to prepare the world for the coming of this Antichrist by those two acts. So there's this huge effort to make homosexuality normal in all the movies and TV shows.
All right.
All that kind
That's
of
the act of an
incredible courage.
evil
Master
devils.
It takes incredible courage to come out and say, no, that's wrong, that's bad. You don't want to do that. You're going to end up as an animal or something like that. I mean, that takes real courage to have that kind of conviction. You know, it's truth. So he'll get attacked, you know, by Satan himself.
Yes, as Kevin said yesterday, two things: materialism and sodomy made Atlantis sunk into the sea. So, Atlantis.
Oh, Atlantis.
Continent sunk into the sea due to the sodomy and the materialism. Arrogance of the humankind. If we do, we can take over our lives to the later generations. These two things, prevented us from taking over our lives. That's what God doesn't wish. Yes.